Welcome to The Source, where we combine the headlines with in-depth conversations with the newsmakers themselves. I'm Pinky Webb. Today on the program, a group of President Rodrigo Duterte supporters want to declare a revolutionary government, citing the urgent need to change the Constitution. Also, lawmakers oppose the call to declare a revolutionary government. Even top military and PNP officials refuse to support the move. And Malacanang denies involvement in the revolutionary government proposal, clarifying that the government's priority is the coronavirus pandemic response. Interior and Local Government Spokesperson Jonathan Malaya and Integrated Bar of the Philippines President Domingo Cayosa join us live. Malacanang says that the group calling for a revolutionary government is free to publicly express their opinion. But presidential spokesperson Harry Roque says the administration's focus is on its coronavirus pandemic response. Roque stresses that the health crisis is the most pressing and most urgent concern of the country this time. Vice President Leni Robredo also raises suspicions over the brewing talks. Robredo warns that such an initiative from the administration supporters may be a move to overthrow the Constitution. Let's go straight to the source of the story. We have Interior and Local Government Secretary Spokesperson, Undersecretary Jonathan Malaya. Yusek Malaya, welcome to the source and thank you for your time.
Yes, good morning, Pinky, and thank you for having me.
PNP Chief Gamboa, Defense Secretary Delfin Lorenzana both admitted that they received an invitation to join this revolutionary government. Did the DILG receive such an invitation?
No, we were never consulted by the group, MRRD and ECC, although we know of them, but we were never consulted, nor have we had talks with them with relation to this proposal on their end to establish a revolutionary government.
How does the Interior Department view this call for a revolutionary government?
Well, first we need to find out specifically the details of what they're proposing, because there's really our problem with this proposal is that it's not in the Constitution. Now, if you look at the Constitution only speaks of a constitutional convention, a constituent assembly, or a people's initiative as a means of amending it. While we agree with them that there is a need to amend the Constitution, it has to be within the parameters of the provisions of the Constitution itself. So that's where the gray area comes in. What exactly do they mean when they propose a revolutionary government? Precisely because such a modality cannot be found in the Constitution itself.
So I take it that the DILG thinks this is illegal or unconstitutional?
That's a difficult question to answer, Pinky, because we have not seen yet the details of this proposal. We have to hear from them specifically, and as I said, we were never consulted by them. So we do not really know the parameters of what they are proposing, precisely because we have looked at the Constitution and it doesn't mention anything about a revolutionary government. The DILG is the chair of the Interagency Task Force on Constitutional Reform, which was the body created by President Duterte to study proposed amendments to the Constitution. And it's chaired by the DILG and with the Department of Justice as vice chair. And in our many meetings, the revolutionary government was never considered, precisely because there's nothing in the Constitution that speaks of a revolutionary government modality in amending the Constitution.
But obviously, you studied this, the DILG being the head of this interagency task force for constitutional change. If you found nothing in the Constitution that talks about a revolutionary government, why can you not say for certainty that this is unconstitutional or illegal?
Well, it's up to the courts to decide if it's illegal, no? Pinky. No? As I said, it would be difficult for me to make a comment on something that is unclear or something which is vague or ambiguous. And the other reason why we find this proposal as ill-timed, it's because of the current crisis we're facing. The DILG, just like what Harry Roque, the presidential spokesperson Harry Roque said, we are focused 100% in defeating COVID. No, we are the vice chair of the National Task Force Against COVID. Therefore, this is, I think, the more pressing issue we have to address. The COVID-19 problem is the biggest problem or crisis that our country has faced since the Second World War. So given the gravity of this situation, and we're not out of the woods yet, we need to focus all our efforts in defeating COVID. And the DILG will do all it can do to defeat this pandemic as soon as possible.
So you describe it as number one, ill-timed, and number two, what? Probably you cannot find it in the Constitution. Would that be fair?
Yes, that's correct. We could not find it in the Constitution. Therefore, we will have to study it further if such a modality is allowed under our current laws. Because, Pinky, we have to speak with, about this with certainty because the Philippine National Police is under the DILG. And we must adhere at all times with the Constitution, and we must uphold at all times the rule of law. So we have to study, once, as I said, we have to study this issue more deeply for us to understand exactly what they wish to accomplish.
Yeah. So hindi pa kayo completely sarado dito sa concept ng revolutionary government because you want to study this further?
No, Pinky. At this time, sarado kami dahil we are focused on COVID. Okay? At this time, no? Kasi, as I said kanina, we do understand why they want to amend the Constitution. But given that we are battling a great crisis right now, this could be a distraction from what we're doing right now, no? We have this great crisis in front of us. For example, the DILG has to focus right now on ensuring that there are enough contact tracers that are deployed across the country to be able to cut the transmission of this disease. No, we have to work on isolation facilities. We have to ensure that the local government units have enough isolation facilities. Then we have to expand our testing capacity. All of these things require attention, time, and resources. And we would rather focus on these issues rather than pushing for amendments to the Constitution at this time.
All right. But I guess the question would also be, when can a call for a revolutionary government be considered or regarded as freedom of expression, and kailan siya inciting to sedition? We continue our conversation with Undersecretary Malaya after the break. This is The Source on CNN Philippines. Please stay tuned. You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. I'm Pinky Webb. Our guest today, DILG spokesperson Jonathan Malaya. So, Yusek Malaya, what you're saying is you're not open to this at this time because it's ill-timed. However, a question is also raised on, is this freedom of expression, or is this actually a possible inciting to sedition case? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think, Pinky, let's leave that to the lawyers. for them to determine whether this is just freedom of expression or inciting to sedition. I'd rather not make a comment at this time on that issue.
Would it though, you think, I don't know, and I need to do a follow-up on this. I know you're saying let's leave it to the lawyers. I guess in my mind, I'm just wondering if it was not supporters of the president calling for a revolutionary government, and for example, it's the opposition, would that be tantamount to inciting to sedition more so than if it came from the supporters of the president?
Yeah, as I said, this is a difficult question to answer. I think it's best that we ask those who are claiming that this is inciting to sedition.
Mhm. All right. But okay, so you can't answer that. You want to leave that to the lawyers. Let's go to this then, Yusek. The DILG is pushing for constitutional change. In fact, you have this program called CORE, CORE, and that the target was to gather about 2 million signatures by the end of July 2020. Where are you in terms of gathering or that target of 2 million signatures?
Well, the core proposal has always been there. We have shifted already from our call for federalism to just surgical amendments to the Constitution, which is what core seeks to propose. And we have already brought this to Congress. This proposal was already presented to Congress, and it's now being heard by the House Committee on Constitutional Amendments. But in our discussions with Speaker Alan Cayetano and Chairman Rufus Rodriguez, it was also decided that we should first focus on COVID response. So technically, CORE is on the
I
back
see.
burner now, but of course, we have not abandoned it. It's part of the duties and responsibilities or mandates of the DILG. And as soon as the COVID is over, we will relaunch this campaign because we feel that the opportunity for changes in the Constitution is within this term of the president. And if we only push for surgical amendments, then it's plausible that given the remaining time in the term of the president, that we may have we may still have time to be able to push this through Congress.
And where are you in terms of the 2 million target signatures?
Yeah, we are far yet from the 2 million signatures that we intend to gather precisely because we are not able to fully mobilize our resources because we're focused on COVID response.
Mm-mm. Even if you shifted online on the signature campaign.
Yeah, even if we shifted online, it's still very difficult to gather signatures because many of our people are not able to work on gathering signatures, and it's actually our CSO partners who are doing the work for us.
So, with this revolutionary government being launched or launched by the MRRD and ECC, does this add to CORE or does this distract to government's plan to pursue CORE or charter change? Nakakatulong ho ba yung Rev government, you think, or nakaka-distract?
You know, Pinky, these are two vastly different things. No, what CORE is pushing is just surgical amendments to the Constitution, and we are proposing that through the regular processes found in the Constitution itself. That's why we're working with Congress because our modality is through a constituent assembly. The revolutionary government mode, on the other hand, is a revision that's of the Constitution. We actually do away with the entire Constitution and start from scratch. They wish to produce an entirely new Constitution. And as I said a while ago, the modality cannot be found in the Constitution itself. So these are two vastly different things that have different objectives and different processes.
All right, DILG spokesperson Jonathan Malaya, thank you for your time, sir.
Thank you so much.
Vice President Leni Robredo also raises suspicions on brewing talks of a revolutionary government. Later in the program, we speak to Integrated Bar of the Philippines President Domingo Cayosa about these calls. You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. Please stay tuned.